Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPen.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. Episode 131. We got a good lineup ahead of UFC London. First up, we're going to jump by Jai Herbert to preview his fight against Faris Sahiem. Obviously, a very good fight. Jai's really looking forward to this one, fighting back in London. He's been in London the past couple. Obviously, lost to Ilya Taporia last March in a pretty close fight that he was winning, dropped to Ilya a couple times, and Ilya came and knocked him out. And then he beat Kyle Nelson in that July. And then earlier this year, he had the draw against Ludovic Klein. He wasn't too surprised that they aren't running back because he thought the UFC and him both know that he won that fight had it not been for that point deduction. But he said that was a good learning experience against Sahiem. He's really looking forward to this one. Sahiem's coming off that nice win over Michael Figlak before that lost to Terrence McKinney. But Herbert knows Ziem's a tough out, and he's really looking forward to this one. He thinks this could be the fighting night. He's excited to be fighting back home in London again. We're then going to be joined by Davey Grant to preview his fight against Daniel Marcos. Kind of an intriguing matchup here. Davey has been trying to get on these London cards for a while. He finally gets on one after submitting Rafael Assunção with 16 or 17 seconds left in the fight, in a fight he was losing, or sorry, like 27 something seconds like that. But an incredible performance. And then he fights Daniel Marcos coming off that TKO win of Saman Oliveira back in January, 14-0. Davey said he is a bit surprised. He thought he was maybe going to get someone in the rankings after the last one, but he's excited to fight back at home, and he thinks this is a fight that he can knock out Daniel and look really impressive in. And then we close things out talking to Chris Duncan to preview his fight against Yanel Ashmos. Chris, coming off that win over Omar Morales back in March in his UFC debut in London. He's getting a chance to fight back. He's from Scotland. He trains at ATT. He said he's been working with the likes of Poirier, Grant Austin. He's been working with a lot of tough guys this camp, and he knows with Yanel coming off that nice knockout, but he wasn't too impressed. He thought Sam left his chin up too much, and he thinks there are holes in Yanel's game he can capitalize on. But be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of Just Scrap Radio. All right, we're jumping UFC lightweight Jai Herbert, who's back in action at UFC London. Jai, how's it going, man?
All good, man. I'm all good. How yourself? Are you okay?
I'm doing well. Obviously, you're fighting back in England and London. How happy were you when you got the call to be fighting on this London card?
I'm always excited to fight in London, to fight in, in the UK. So yeah, I'm just excited to go again, and I'm being more than prepared for July the 22nd. And yeah, man, can't wait to put on the show.
Your last fight, what do you take away from that one? Because obviously a draw against Klein, a very exciting fight.
I took the positives away from it. I feel like I only drew the fight because I got the point deducted, obviously. So without that point deduction, I would have won the fight. I feel like I won the fight anyway without the point deduction. To be honest with you, I feel like I won all 3 rounds. But basically, it was like a win for me. Obviously not financially, but it was like everyone. It's clear to see that I literally won the fight, but just because of the point deduction, which was the questionable knee to the groin. So, but yeah, I took the positives away from the fight. I like my the way I navigated the fight, the way I controlled the fight. Yeah, I was really impressed. So that's the positives I'm taking from that.
Do you think because you would have wanted the point deduction, that's why you guys aren't running it back, and the UFC is just kind of treating it as like you won?
Yeah, I feel like. I think they sort of see it as because of the point deduction. They see it as like, oh, it was basically a win for me, and I think they've pushed me up to go fight a guy who's won as well in Faris Sahiem. He's won his last fight, so yeah, I feel like that's what they're doing. So yeah, man, I'm just improving every day. So I'm just looking at the next fight and focusing on that now.
With Faris, how familiar were you with him when you got the fight offer?
I'd seen him before. When I got the name, I thought I sort of like I seen him, and I thought, oh yeah, I remember I seen him fight before. So yeah, it's just kickboxer style, tall, similar build to me. So yeah, it will be an entertaining fight.
4 straight fights for you in London. Are you I imagine you're pretty happy with that, but are you surprised that has been the case and you haven't had to go elsewhere?
As you know, I'm not too. I'm not. Yeah, like logistically, it's great for me. Just down the road for me. Going and fighting in the big O2 arena, so it's great. Um, but obviously, they must UFC must like having me on the show, so
Mhm.
that's a good thing for me. If they're always putting me on the card, I mean, I don't know who else has been put on there like back to back in 4 fights in a row now. So I'm just looking at it as a positive, man, and I'm just excited to fight there again.
The
Hopefully,
London,
I can fight somewhere else. But London is fine by me.
the London crowd is always insane, like one of the best in the sport. But like, do you expect it to be the exact same as your last one, even though it's just a fight night now compared to the pay per view?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, the pay per view that was special. I mean, I even after my fight, I went in the crowd, and that was special, man. But even that, though it's not a pay per view, it's just a fight night. It's still going to be, still going to be mad there. It's still going to be hectic, because the UK fans, they love a good scrap. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an entertaining night.
And then with Faris, like obviously he lost to Don Madge and then was submitted by Terrence McKinney. His last fight, he rebounded pretty nice. Like, what have you kind of made of his UFC run?
He's a pretty solid fighter in all areas. To be fair, he's more of a striker. Obviously, he's got a kickboxing background. I feel he's worked on his grappling. Looks like when you watch his fights, seems to be a solid all around an opponent. But I just feel I'm the better fighter. I'm more I feel like I'm just a better fighter, and I'm going to prove that July the 22nd.
Do you expect him to try to wrestle you? Like, it seems like a lot of these guys in the UFC are trying to wrestle you pretty early.
I expect him to like when I watch his fights, he looks to mix it up. But I expect him to look to wrestle, to shoot in on a double leg or whatever. But I'm just I'm a mixed martial artist, so I'm prepared wherever the fight goes, and I'm comfortable in every area.
Is it just the kind of usual crew you've been working with for this one?
Yeah, pretty usual. I mean, I've been working more with the guys my height, more
Mhm.
the tall rangy guys for this one, instead of these small stocky wrestler types. But um, I mixed it up a bit. But yeah, I've been working. A lot. I mean, our gym we got a lot of different top bodies and high level guys. You know what I mean? So I've had a good training and some good training partners and some very good sparring. So I'm more than ready to get the win.
Is there any pressure on you fighting at home? Like, obviously, all the UK fans like want to see you guys win, and like, just I imagine having so many friends and family in the audience. Like, does that add a bit of pressure for you?
Um, I don't know, not really anymore. I'm really now starting to enjoy it. I think I'm just enjoying the moment. I think I did in my last fight. I just went out there and I just enjoyed the moment. I didn't put too much pressure on myself, and I feel like that's when I perform better. When I'm not putting too much pressure on myself, I'm just enjoying it and I'm in the moment, and that's when I'm the most focused and the most sharp. And
Mhm.
so as you know, I mean, we're lucky to do what we do to fight in the UFC. The biggest promotion in the world. Like it's massive. Like so, I'm just enjoying it and enjoying it, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
On the main card as well, like right before the co-main event, like it's a pretty good spot. Like crowd will be pretty amped up by then. Like how happy you kind of with the placement you are on this card?
I didn't. Someone told me the other day that was like second on the main card or something, but I wasn't really like. I was like, oh, it doesn't really matter where it is, but that is a nice to be up there high up in a card. It means that they're in think that you it means that things the UFC obviously believe that you believe in your skills. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good to know that. But whether it was like second on the prelims, which with Klein, which I thought
Mhm.
that was crazy because that was such a good matchup.
Mhm.
Should have been on the main card, but it doesn't really matter if it's on the prelims or on the main card. I'm just focused on doing the job. That's what I'm just going to enjoy myself and stay focused.
How do you kind of see this one playing out?
Um, I see like this one. I feel like it's gonna be a battle of distance because like we're both rangy long guys. Battle of distance, battle of the clinch work, and the cage, who's gonna yeah, it's just going to be a battle of distance because we're both rangy, so good jabs, good kicks. So it's just going to be who can dominate and control the distance, and I believe I will do that, and I will be doing that on July the 22nd.
I even before the UFC, like you're getting all these finishes, back-to-back fights that go the distance. Like, does that annoy you a little, or like, is there any like a chip on your shoulder pressure to kind of get back in the finish?
Not really. I think when you think too much about the finish, I think if you're trying to get the finish too much, you can leave yourself open or lose concentration a bit as well yourself. So, but I feel like my last fight, I improved from the fight before. So I feel like the thing like my coach said to me, like you can fight like that, like smart using your IQ and still get the finishes like you used to do. And I feel like I've been showing improvements in my last two fights as well, especially. So this third one, it's gonna be even more improvement, and I'm still gonna get that. I'm gonna have that focus, and I'm still gonna have that clinical finishing ability as well.
What do you think a win over Furries does for you? Like, obviously, I think to most people it would be 3 in a row for you. So, like, where do you think that puts you in the division?
I mean, I think that puts me just outside the top 15. I feel like I'm not looking past Furries at all. But couple of wins, man, and I'm knocking on the top 15 door. So I'm just focusing on it. I'm just being in the moment, man. I'm gonna go out there and just enjoy myself and show my skills. And like I say, who knows? Well, not who knows, but a couple more wins, and bam, I'm banging on the door for the top 15.
And then like Ilya obviously dominated Josh Emmett the other week. Like, do you think him like dominating and running through these guys like ends up making you look better? Because like you were the closest guy, like you knocked him down a couple times. Like that was kind of the closest fight he's ever been in. And he's like run through these guys that are ranked like, top 3, top 5. I know it's obviously a division down, but like, do you think like how good he's doing kind of raises your profile as well?
Yeah, it does, but I'm trying not to. I mean, at the end of the day, I was battering him for 2 rounds, and he just caught me with one shot, and that was it. But fair play to him, he stuck in there and he took a beating and then come back with that one punch. But yeah, I suppose it shows that the level that I'm at with the way I was dealing with a fighter like that who's literally bulldozing through everyone on that in the featherweight division. He's looking to be fighting for a title next, so it just shows you the level where I'm at anyway. So, and I'm just getting better than that anyway. I'm better than that. That fighter that was in that cage with him, I'm 10 times better than that now. So we're gonna see anyway. And I'm getting older, but I'm like a fine wine. I'm just getting better with age. You know what I mean?
Obviously, he's at a different weight class and like about to probably fight for the belt. But like, is that a fight you'd want back at some point, or is like, because to me, like, I think that was a fight like you were winning up until he kind of caught you.
Yeah, if he ever come up to lightweight, and we was around in the top 15 or whatever, and we could definitely run that back 100%.
And then just final thing, like, what is the like goal for you the rest of the year? Like, obviously, already second fight this year, like in July, probably sets you up to have at least one more.
Yeah, definitely. I want to have one more like towards the end of the year. I mean, hopefully that would be good to get on the same card. I'm not sure what card Leon's on, but the next card that Leon's on, that would be great to get on the same card as him, wherever that is in the world.
Actually, just one more quick one with Leon. Do you think it's going to be Colby or Bilal next? Is like that's kind of the big question for him.
Well, what Dana's saying is Colby, isn't it? So I think it's probably going to be Colby. But I feel like Leon beats Colby anyway. I mean, he just beat Osman twice in a row, and,
Mhm.
and dominated Colby, beat him twice. So I got Leon all day long.
Do you think Leon's like just finally getting some respect he deserves after that second like Usman fight and kind of how one sided it was? Because even though he won the title, like everyone's like, oh well, you lost, like you were losing until you landed that head kick. Like, do you think because of like how one side that rematch was, like he's finally starting to get that respect? Or do you still think like people continue to overlook him?
No, I think he's finally getting that respect, but I feel like there is still some like it's crazy, isn't it? Like there's still like some doubters out there. I'm sure there is. They're like, oh, Colby, this Colby. I'm thinking, well, my man Usman beat Colby twice, like and stopped him once. And Leon just beat Usman twice in a row. So, but yeah, you always got these guys and you always got these haters, and you'll always have them. So, but there's no doubt that he's the number one welterweight around. So it's like I can't see anyone beating him for a long time.
Well, Jai, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this.
No worries, man. Glad to be on.
All right, we're joining UFC bantamweight Davey Grant, who finally gets that London fight. Davey, how's it going, man?
Yeah, hey, Cole. Nice to see you, bro.
Yeah, obviously, you've always kind of fought like either just before or just after the last couple London cards. So how happy are you that you're finally getting on this one?
Yeah, it's excellent, honestly. I mean, the crowds at London have been fantastic for the last few shows. So to go and get on the card, like in my home country, honest, I'm absolutely buzzing.
Did it really matter who you were fighting? Or was it more just like getting on this date?
Yeah, I'm not really bothered. So everyone brings something different to the table, I was just really excited to get on the card. I'm pleased with the opponent because he's like more of a stand-up guy. So it looks like we're going to go in there and have like a really exciting fight. Put on a good one for the crowd, my friends and family and stuff.
And then fighting back in London, like it's been a couple years for you. Like, what are you kind of expecting the atmosphere to be like for you?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm sure it's going to be electric. I'm sure. I mean, hopefully they've all been watching it and supporting, even though I've been fighting away from home for a long time. I think it was 2015 the last time I fought in London. 2016 the last time I even fought in England. So yeah, it's great to get back on home soil.
And then with Daniel Marcos, like I was a bit surprised this was the opponent. I thought maybe you might have gotten a top 15 guy after beating a Sunsao. Like, were you surprised by this fight booking?
Yeah, a little bit. I wasn't sure what to make of it. But like I say, I mean, everyone brings something different to the table. I mean, I always want to go and work up the division, really, but I suppose everyone does. Do you know what I mean? And what it is I've never ever said no to a fight. As soon as it's offered to me, I take it. I'm not like, oh no, I want to fight him or him or him. I'm a bit old school like that, where I'll just fight anyone put on the table. And it was offered to me from London, and yeah, Mays mucks out for an exciting fight.
How familiar were you with him? Like, obviously, just has that one UFC fight.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I've never really watched anything of him. Like now, I've watched like loads of his tape. Just trying to get ready for the fight, and he's got an impressive record. Comes to bring it, and like I say, makes for an exciting fight. I think we're just going to meet in the middle and go at it.
With this one being in London, like, did you go out to Vegas to train, or did you just stay at home this entire camp then?
Yeah, I went to Thailand and then to Vegas because I found out about this fight. I had like 12 weeks, so I've managed to like dot my camps around. Did a lot of training in England, a lot of training in Thailand, a lot of training in Vegas, and then just got back about a week ago. So now I'm just all acclimatized. Last couple of weeks, ready to go.
Have you gone out to Thailand like before? Like, what kind of was the reason to go out there?
No, I just fancied like halfway through camp it was. So I went over and I thought I sort of did it as like sort of like a training holiday. I went with a few friends. I was still training twice a day. I've got some good friends over there as well. So it just like sort of broke things up. And then finished off, went into like more of my hard stuff back in Vegas with Syndicate where I'm used to. And yeah, it was just like more just like sort of break things up, break the monotony of camp up and get some good work in.
Does that kind of help? Because obviously you had a lot of notice, and it can kind of get a bit probably annoying and stagnant, just kind of doing the same thing over and over again for like 12, 13 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it helps. Yeah. And it's nice. You go and get new guys, new drills, and obviously different sort of like humidities and stuff like that to the fitness as well. And it's just like keeps things nice and fresh.
And then who is making the trip to London to be in your corner then?
So John Wood's coming over.
Yep.
John Wood from Syndicate, and then I've got some guys from England as well, and then one of the other guys from Vegas. So I've got Alex Edlund he's from England, and then John Wood who's coming over from all the way from Vegas.
And outside of the last one, like you've been at the Apex a lot. Like, what do you think that walkout for you is going to be like? Like first time in obviously a sold out arena in quite a while, but then back in London too. Like, I imagine it's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's like I didn't mind the Apex shows. I really didn't, and I had some good experiences there. but there's nothing like walking out in front of a big crowd, especially like in your own country and like in a venue as iconic as the O2.
Obviously, London's gotten a lot of cards as of late, like been having like 2 or 3 a year just because of how kind of crazy the atmosphere is. Like, are you expecting to be kind of as wild as it was in March? Like, obviously, you had Leon defending his title. It was a pay-per-view, but like, even with that, like, with just being a fight night, do you kind of expect it to still be that kind of nuts? It's just kind of how crazy those London fans are.
Yeah, I think they all just love it. Like I'm hoping so. I think anyone you bring to the O2, I think the English fans they just seem to love it anyway. So yeah, hopefully it's just as electric as last time.
With Daniel, like, how do you think you match up against him then?
I think I match up well. I mean, he's definitely got some skills and like I feel like I'm definitely his hardest test.
Mhm.
And I feel like some of the guys have been fighting him maybe like even just because they're ranked a lot higher than what he is. I don't feel like it means that he's any of an easier fight. He's definitely he's never been beat, so he's come from a good pedigree. Obviously coming in with that sort of confidence, riding those sort of win streaks. But stylistically, I mean, I'm just better in all areas. In all honesty.
Is there a lot of pressure on you going to this one? Like, fighting a guy like I imagine a lot of people aren't too familiar with, so they kind of expect you to win, and like obviously fighting back in England as well.
Maybe I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I try not to let anything like that get to me. To be honest, each fight I just take it as it comes. Try not to put any undue pressure on myself. Just go out there and enjoy it.
And then with this one, like, how do you kind of see it playing out?
I mean, I think it's going to be just a good stand-up battle. Like sort of. I think they'll just meet in the middle, and it'll just be. I think it's going to be exciting for the fans. Really good fight. I've never seen him really shoot takedowns. It's not really in what part of my game. So yeah, hopefully we'll just go and have a nice, exciting fight, and I'll get my hand raised at the end of it.
Do you put any pressure on to get the finish? Like, obviously, I think it's the last like 4 or 5 have all been by stoppage. You just think that kind of comes with the way you fight?
No, yeah, I think that's. I'm always looking for the finish, no matter what I'm doing. I want to be in there and out of there as quick as possible. Ideally with a knockout. But no, I don't put pressure on myself. I just go out there, and then if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just want to try and perform to the best of my ability, and it's just the way I fight. Like I think I'm dangerous, and that's why I end up getting the finishes.
What do you think a win over Daniel, especially say you do go there and finish him? Like, where do you think that kind of puts you in the division?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. Like, hopefully we're going to get those top 15 fights. I'm not really worried. Like they can give us anyone they want. Because I get the same amount of money for no matter who I'm fighting. But like, it'd be nice to go and climb the division. But anyone, to be honest, I'm more bothered about activity than opponents. Like I just want to get as many fights in as I possibly can. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, Cole. You know what I mean? I just want to start getting them racked off, to be honest.
So, like, what is kind of the goal then for the rest of the year? Like, fighting end of July? Like, are you hoping maybe 2 you can squeeze in, or at least 1?
Yeah, that would be ideal. I mean, if I could go and fight on this card and then like maybe even on the Dubai card, and then maybe I don't know, London again. Honestly, I'm not really worried where I fight. I just really, really want to fight. I just want to stay healthy. I don't take any time off after fights, unless I'm injured or I've got a bit of rehabilitation to do. I'm really just looking for as many as I can get in.
And just the last couple of things is I just want to touch on the bantamweight division. Like, obviously a lot of key fights coming up. Like, obviously you have Sterling O'Malley, like Sandhagen, Nurmagomedov. I wanted to really touch on that one. Like, are you surprised with that fight booking? Like, I was kind of surprised Sandhagen took it. And like, I get why the UFC is trying to push Umar that much, but like, do you think that's going to be like too much too soon? Are you surprised by that booking?
No, I mean, I think he deserves it. He's been performing, and like obviously Sandhagen wants to fight as well. I do think, in all honesty, I think Sandhagen might be a bit too much for him, but it's one of them ones where he gets his opportunity, and then we'll get to see his level. A lot of hype coming off him. I'm interested. I mean, yourself, the bantamweight division's stacked at the minute, and there's just so many good fights coming up, and even just to be made. Everywhere I look, I think there's just like exciting fights everywhere. It's really, really good time for the 135s out there.
And then with the title fight, like Sterling's already said this is his last one. He'll vacate the title then if he wins. Like, what do you think that does to the division if he does go out there and beat Sterling, but then kind of having no champ? It kind of opens everything up even more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Marab's earned his title shot, hasn't he? And I think it might have a lot to do with Sterling vacating. You know, like I know how close they are. I talked to them both when I'm at Vegas, and they're both good guys. And Sterling obviously wants to go and test himself at the weight above. I mean, yeah, honestly, it does. It makes for some great fights, and it does. It blows the division wide open, you know. And hopefully, a couple of fights I can get amongst them that top back on.
Well, Davey, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this.
No worries. Always a pleasure, Cole. Thank you.
All right, we're joined by UFC lightweight Chris Duncan, who's getting a chance to fight back in London. Chris, how's it going, man?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. How's yourself?
I'm doing well. Like, obviously, your debut fight went very well for you. Like, got the win in London. Like, how happy are you then to turn around and get back on the next London card in the summer?
Yeah, good. Nice quick turnaround for me, especially to try and help me financially. You know, it's not the easiest thing being a fighter. You know, there's a lot of outgoings and stuff. So happy I got the win. Wasn't my best performance, but I don't think I had the best dance partner for it. You know, the guy wasn't even trying to get up. He was just kind of lying there and accepting position. So this guy I've got next seems to be a better dance partner. So I'm looking forward to putting on a performance this time.
I know you're calling Florida home when you train. Like, were you interested in fighting on that Jacksonville card, or were you always like hoping to get back on that London card?
It doesn't matter to me, man. You like send me a location. That's kind of the kind of thought process I go behind. But it's good to have my family home, and it's good to go home and get a little bit of a reset before I go home again. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. Just line them up and I'll knock them down.
Do you go? I forgot from the last time we talked. Do you go to ATT once you have a fight, or do you kind of stay there year round now?
No, I go there every time I get a fight. So I try and get like 6 to 8 weeks in, depending on what it is. Last time I did 10, it was just a little bit too much. I ended up getting injured a couple of times, just pushing the body too much, trying to train twice a day, every day. So 7 weeks this time. Going forward, the goal would be to move here with the family. So laying the foundations at the moment, getting the good training, and it's good to get away from the family as well. Might sound a bit selfish, but any fighter will understand that a good night's sleep and being well rested throughout the day is very important for your recovery and your performance.
And with your opponent in Yanel, like how familiar are you with him? Like obviously made the debut on the same card you did, knocked out Sam Patterson's. Like how familiar are you with him?
Yeah, I've studied pretty much all of his fights now. The guy's decent. He's in the UFC. He's got a good overhand, good left hook, nice tight boxing. But there's a couple of things that I'm looking forward to exploiting because the guy's pretty raw. He does a lot of things really well, but the guy makes too many mistakes, too many stupid mistakes as well. So I'm going to go out there, fight the fight, and get the W once again.
Were you surprised he knocked out Sam?
Yes, very surprised actually, because not because I think Sam's better than him, but I think listen, if I was a coach and I was Sam's coach, and I was Yanal's coach, I would have said, the overhand's going to come. You're 6'2", and he's 5'9". Like, you need to be aware of this overhand. So, that I think it was just a silly mistake from Sam's part. I think Sam beats him maybe 8 out of 10 times. Just unfortunately got clipped with those 4-inch gloves, and yeah, that's not going to happen with me. I'm going to be too slick, too fast. I'm going to be in and out, and the guy's not going to know it's going to hit him.
Do you put any pressure to have a better performance and make it a more exciting fight this time around? I know obviously you got the win over Omar, but I know you weren't too thrilled with it, just especially with the way he was fighting. Do you put any pressure on that to make it entertaining how most of your fights are?
Yeah, well, fuck, that's the first fucking decision I've had in my career that's been shit. So, 10 out of the 11 fights that I've had, I've had one shit one. So 1 out of 10 is not a bad effort. Mm-hmm. So, listen, at the end of the day, if I get the W, that's all that matters. But obviously, I'd prefer 50k in my back pocket as well. I like to go out there and showcase my skills and showcase what I am as a martial artist, not just going out there to play the game. So, like, what product are you bringing to the table? Like, do you want these guys to have you on the show? Do you want them to think that, oh, this guy's exciting, let's get him on, So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going out there and just feeling it out. And it's all familiar for me this time, because I've been here before, I've done that, and I've got the debut at the road. And, yeah, ready to rock again.
Back at the O2, like, what do you think that crowd atmosphere? Like, you already experienced once with the pay-per-view, but with it just being a free card now as well, like, what do you think that atmosphere is going to be like for you?
Fuck, man, I'd not fought in front of a crowd for about 3 years until I walked out the O2, and I walked out to 20,000 people. Fucking shit myself, I'm not going to lie. But that's the best I felt in there. Maybe that's why I'm a little bit critical of my performance, because there was some positions that I felt that, obviously, if I jumped on a submission or I jumped on something, I maybe could have lost position. But in turn, I could have lost the position completely and then ended up on bottom, and the fight could have went a different way. So I feel like hindsight's 2020, and you can always look back and rectify your skills. And everybody ATT that's been training with me knows how much I've upskilled already, and it's only been 4 months. So I wish you could be a fly on the wall at ATT at the moment. I'm doing really, really well. Top class guys, like, you see who I'm training with. So, like, in the past, like, when my dream was always to be in the UFC. So anytime I blow out candles or I see a shooting star or I was going to make a wish, it would always be, I want to be in the UFC. That would always be my wish. So now I've had to change my wish, and not many people can say that they've accomplished that goal. So I'm already ahead in that sense. But training with these top 10 guys, like, man, like, what better rounds can you get than with Dustin? Like, I'm in with Dustin every other day, training with him. I'm in with Grant Dawson. These guys are all top 15. So, like, I know I'm supposed to be there, and I'm world class. And it's not me being big headed, and it's not me being like super confident. It's just like the only reason why I know that is because I'm doing it with these guys. Like, I'm training with these guys. Like, I know I'm supposed to be there. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, you can shout all the affirmations you want in the world, but unless you can prove it to yourself, you'll never believe yourself. So I can prove that to myself on day in, day out at American top teams. So I'm in a very, very fortunate situation.
And then, like, how much better do you think you have gotten? Like, I know you've been at American Top Team for a bit now, but just like getting to like work with like Poirier, like all those guys, and not even just work with them, but then like kind of see what they do outside of training and how they just recover and stuff like that. Like, how beneficial do you think that has been to your career so far?
The biggest thing for me, is like winning rounds and like doing jiu-jitsu and submitting people and blah blah blah. So like, it's hard to gauge like how much better I've got, but things are starting to click. I'm like, it's not even like I've done anything different. It's just like being in the mix. It's like, you've been training day in, day out. Say you've been squatting 100 kilos every single day, and it's very heavy at the start. By week 8, it's becoming light. It's becoming easy. So sometimes, like, even now in this part of my career, I'm learning new techniques. And instead of just going balls to the walls every session, I'm working on that specific technique and growing and getting that a little bit better every single time. So, and it's also great. Like, my coaches are even saying, "It's like, man, you've got so much better." Like, people would take that as like a bad thing. People would be like, "Oh, so was I shit before?" But like, these guys are like singing my praises now. So it's great. It's great.
With this fight, like, how do you kind of see it playing out? Like, you'll have a bit of a reach advantage, but like with like, he fights a lot of guys that are taller than him anyways. Like, how do you kind of see this one playing out?
To be honest with you, man, I don't really know. I feel like we've got some specific things that we're going to do round on round. So, like, it's not so much like it's going to be these different techniques and these different game plans that we're going to try out through first, second, and third round will take the fight where it needs to go. I feel that some people put a stamp on, like, I'm going to knock him out in the first, I'm going to knock him out in the second. we've got a couple of key points that we want to work on first and second round, especially that's going to exploit and overcome any of his attributes. So whatever route that takes me, whether it be submission, whether it be TKO or knockout, I'm always going for the finish. I'm looking forward to getting in there and showing the world how much better I got rather than talking about it.
Your striking is kind of your main part, but I think you kind of showed in that last fight you have underrated wrestling. Like, how important do you think the wrestling and grappling will be in this one?
I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just fucking pull guard or something. Of course we're fighting MMA. We need to put the threat out there. Whether that opportunity arises, like I go into sparring sessions sometimes, and for instance, like can't get Dustin down. Like sometimes I can't do it. So like you've got to adapt and overcome on the spot. And I feel that I did that really well in my last fight. And my cornerman said, "Is like, why are you giving this guy a chance? Like, we know he's got striking, but we know he's got zero wrestling. So why are you even giving this guy like a 50-50 chance?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Go and wrestle this guy for a round, see how he feels." And then like the guy felt like he'd never wrestled a day in his life, and that also kind of played the point why he didn't try and get up as well as he did. He was kind of like pointing to me and pointing to the ref, and it's not the ref's job to stand you up, it's your job. So I'm looking forward to getting in there and showing him.
I know when we talked last time, you mentioned how you wanted to get that Figlak fight rebooked just because you're booked against him, and then same with that Borishev fight back. Are those still two you want to get back, or do you think like a win here, you might be kind of past those guys?
Yeah, probably, to be honest. Listen, it's not my job to tell me who I'm fighting, but I watched that Trevor Peak last Saturday. Man, that guy, I'd actually murder that guy. So I'd like to maybe get a fight with him, because like he's so wild. It'd be quite exciting and get me amped up, because I know that this guy's coming. So I'm not slating his technique, but he did look pretty shit. But it would be an exciting fight for me, and kind of give me the butterflies in my stomach, because I know he's coming for it. So that would be a fight I'd like to see in the future.
Just final thing then, like what is the goal then for the rest of the year? Like already your second fight in July in London, like I imagine you're probably hoping for at least one more to end out the year.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to maybe fight in Dubai or either Paris, but it all depends on. I've got some unfinished business to do with being back home. This last 6 months, 8 months have been quite fight orientated, so I definitely need some time with family. Family's just as important as fighting, so I'm going to go back, go on holiday when I get home, and then I'm going to recoup and decide in that moment. But I see Paris. When's Paris? Is that August?
First or second week of September, I think it is.
Okay, so that'd be good. And also October is Dubai. So there's kind of two options. I think that would be really good. But like I say, man, like I don't really get a choice in the matter there. It's just like send me location and I'll go. But it needs to fit in with my schedule, because a couple of times, like in fact, not at all actually with the UFC, they've always given me adequate time to prepare. So the only thing I can't do is take a fight last minute, because my weight is always an issue. I'm quite a big lightweight. I walk around pretty heavy, but I think that's only due to me being working in the past and not being able to dedicate my full time to fighting. So now I can do that. I think I'm going to have to keep the weight down a little bit more, to sit about that 182, 180 mark and go from there rather than 185, 190.
Just kind of building off that quickly. Like I know Dustin's a bigger lightweight. Like, have you been able to talk to him about what he kind of does in between fights?
Yeah.
Weight down?
Yeah. He's not as heavy as you think. He's a big guy, but he's definitely not as heavy as you think. But that guy's been there, done it all. He's got all the t-shirts. So yeah, I've definitely picked his brain in regards to how he goes about his camp and stuff like that. But yeah, I think these guys are my idols. And, asking them, like a lot of people have got a little bit of an ego over here and they'll not ask questions. Whereas, I feel like there's a saying, be a fool for a minute or be a fool for a lifetime. So, like, I ask a question that might seem stupid, but it's going to make me better in the long term. So, I'm getting all these fucking quality rounds with these 12 and amazing guys. Like, I'm in with Yaroslav, the Bellator 77 kilo champion. Man, that guy is the best fighter on the planet at the moment. Like, people don't realise, like, just because he's in Bellator, he's not getting the recognition. That guy is fucking good, by the way. Like, so good. And he's been helping me. He's been a good friend of mine. He's been helping me out. You know, I've not got a car here, so I've been walking everywhere. He's been taking me places, getting shopping. You know, the guy's a gentleman. So, yeah, I'm just so lucky and fortunate that I've been able to put myself in this position. Well, I say lucky. I fucking done it myself. I've done it for me. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm just the future's bright. The future that I'm paving the way for myself. You know, the only way is up. You know, and this can't go wrong. It's just I'm doing everything I possibly can. Like I finished up on Friday, and then Mike was like, "Are we doing circuits on Saturday?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do circuits." He was like, "Have you got any other training?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't think so. I'm just gonna train once." Like, when you know that you can, like, just finish up with one session a day, and it's just confidence that you've done everything Monday through Friday, and there's like no stone left unturned. Sorry, I rambled on a little bit there, but I'm getting a bit excited about the fight and how I'm preparing. And like, it's just like I've got it all covered, man. Like, I feel so fucking confident. It's unbelievable.
Are you at the dorms at ATT then? Is that where you're staying then?
Yeah, I'm staying at the dorms, but I'm currently at Dunkin' Donuts just now. no donuts though, but yeah, I'm in dorms. So when I finish training, I just go back up and watch fight footage and learn and stretch and do all the things that a professional athlete's supposed to do.
Well, Chris, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this again.
Oh, anytime, mate. You just let me know if you need me again.